Beaumarchais knew that the joke was on them all, and that it was dangerous because it sneered back rather than whined. Indeed, it was a classic example of going beyond a joke. There is swagger in Figaro's salvo, an arrogance based on hard fact, more dangerous than any cry of pain. Beaumarchais and Rousseau proposed something that was more dangerous than righteous indignation at the inequalities sustained by aristocratic privilege. They ventured a vision of society that was far more redolent of danger for those in power than a rage at social or economic injustice. This was not the righteous rage of the weak, but the defiance of those set on becoming the new masters. First Figaro, and then Rousseau dared to say that their masters were not just cruel and callous, but that they were stupid. Next, they asserted that they, the doers, were more intelligent, and that it was simply stupid to obey the stupid. Beaumarchais' Figaro and Rousseau knew that they could do things better than their betters, as it were, and looked down on them. The goal was not to free the world, but to rise in it, to take it over, and then to exterminate those in power, less because they were unjust than because they were dimwits. It was talent that mattered, not the privilege of birth, yet those foolish enough not to see this, the mass of the people, were as hopeless as the masters. The world should belong to the best and the bravest. Stephen England has described the atmosphere exuded from Napoleon's tomb in Les Invalides as the awe-evoking sense of human possibility, which is a different thing from hope. This was not about dreaming of justice. It was a question of seizing the day. Awe was yet to come, but that sense of possibility, something less ethereal and altruistic than hope, liberty, equality, or fraternity, burgeoned from the Figaro of Beaumarchais and the Rousseau of the Venice embassy. Men of this stamp were hardly ideologues, and so did not give the new political culture its new language of liberty, but they made it work, and they did so from self-interest based on confidence. Altruism came and went among them, but as Robert Alexander has said of Napoleon himself, will and talent are the bedrock of the reputation. They were the bedrock of the most potent element of the revolution itself and of the liberated generation it spawned. Ambition ruled Napoleon, and it was selfish. As Thibaudot, one of his earliest supporters, put it, his genius was used only to serve his ego. His only passion was power. His mistress was France. Yet it is no less true that when he rose, all who wished to follow and had the talent to do so rose with him. This was the revolution and the new gospel, according to Napoleon. When liberty, equality, and fraternity had all frayed at the edges and been left behind by those who invented them, the revolution's early promise of the career open to talent remained. When Napoleon said, possibly, that he found the crown of France lying in the gutter, picked it up and put it on, he took revenge for Figaro and Rousseau. All Rousseau could do, as he said, was resign and rail at society with his pen. Indeed, he went on to invent a political utopia in The Social Contract, and write two best-selling Maudlin novels, La Nouvelle Héloïse and Émile, both of which concluded that subservience was the answer. Figaro fared better, for this was fiction. He made a fool of his master and got his girl away from him through pure guile, but the happiness he cleverly contrived for himself and his beloved was purely personal. I was poor and despised. I showed some spirit. The hatred has run its course. A pretty girl and a fortune, he can exult, in the statutory happy ending. It took a seismic upheaval to make the step from the stage to power attainable for the likes of Figaro. The French Revolution made victory in the public sphere possible for such men, and Napoleon epitomized them. For men of this stamp, the revolution was less an ideal than a vehicle. And if its creators did not know how to drive it any more than those they overthrew knew how to control the old order, there were men who had to use knowledge and every calculation just to survive, who could master the new order. If there was a word Napoleon